Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. And of course, being a doctor of flashlight studies, I wanted to test out this new light from Nextorch, the Dr.K32. And it's quite a unique flashlight. It's one of, well, the only one of its kind that I have in my collection. It's a dual light source medical pen light, and it's got a couple of LEDs in there. It's got a warm 3000K mode as well as a 5000K mode. You can kind of see the two LED dyes underneath the lens there. And I think this is the perfect light if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, or even you have a job where color recognition is crucial. So for example, if you're inspecting paintings or antiques, specimens, that kind of thing, you know, having that high CRI output is so important, as well as a very uniform looking beam. So let's have a look at what's in the box. Now, of course, you get the light itself. You also get this interesting little battery here. It's a 10880 cell, and pretty long sort of cell there, 650 milliamp hours. And the previous model of this light, the Dr. K3 Pro, has an inbuilt 330 milliamp hour cell. So I really think this is a huge upgrade because, one, you can replace that cell, that 10880 cell, when it conks out. And secondly, you can also use two AAA cells in there, so those are pretty easy to find. And having a look again at what you get, I'll just bring over the box here, but that's the box itself. You can pause the video if you want to have a read of some of the specs on here. There's the specs for both types of batteries, and also here at the bottom of the box there's some additional specifications. 1 meter drop in water resistant, which is great. Inside the box there's really limited accessories. You just get a USB-C charging cable as well as an instruction manual. So here are a bunch of other pen lights from Nextorch, and you can see that even on the outside, the Dr. K32, you've got these like pupil dilation guides, and there's a little ruler here on the side, 3 centimeter ruler. So it's definitely going to be pretty handy if you're an optometrist or something like that. And you've got your K30 here. Produces a ton more light, the K30 does, but it's not high CRI light. And the Nextorch K3RT, which is marketed more as a tactical pen light, just due to that bezel there, 3 glass breaking beads. So here is a little close-up of the Nextorch Dr. K32, and it's just premium build quality. And you can tell as soon as you take the thing out the box, and it's machined from medical grade aluminium. That's what they say it is. I think it's 6061. And the head, like I was showing you before, is unscrewable in order to access the battery. It's the only part of the light that you can actually unscrew. I have found that the head is a little heavier than my other pen lights for some reason. And it might have to do with this dual module setup in there, the heatsink as well. Additional heatsink, probably going to take up some room, some extra weight, but it's not a big deal. The clip is sturdy. Okay, notice there's barely any flex in this. You really got to pull it up, and I think that's a good thing because the clip is normally the first thing to go on any kind of pen or pen light, as some of you would know. And the button on the rear here, I do like that Nextorch are using a metal button. There's some kind of machined non-slip grip on the rear. Nice little finishing touch. And the body itself of the light is fairly smooth. When you press down, it becomes grippier, and it's almost like a matte black. So there's it's not really reflective. Just got a ring light on top of me, so you do see a bit of that reflection in there, but normally it's not. And yeah, as you can see, these little measurements on the side there for what I'm assuming is pupil dilation and, a general little ruler. And the great thing about this light as well is that it's IPX7. So, if you're in the medical field and you need to disinfect the light after between patients, you can immerse the light totally in alcohol. Another interesting thing I found out about this light is that it has RG0 certification. It says a little thing there on the side there, RG0. So I had to read up about what this is, and basically it means that it doesn't produce any harmful blue light, so you can use it on someone's eye when examining them, and there's no optical hazard. And you can also see the CRI rating of 95 there. So with the 10880 lithium ion cell, you need to charge this thing outside of the flashlight. So there is a little USB-C port there. And yeah, of course, you can use any kind of AAA alkaline nickel metal hydrides, my favorite, because those can be charged as well. And yeah, I do like that the 10880 cell that they're using now in the new model, it's pretty much twice the capacity of the previous Dr. K3 Pro. So huge upgrade. I'll definitely get this one if I was choosing between both. So here's a little close-up underneath the lens. You can just barely see, but there's two LED dye surfaces in there, and I'm not sure which is which, but they remain static during operation. One of them's rated at 3000K and the other one is 5700K. And Nextorch don't provide specifications on what LEDs these are, but they are high CRI LEDs. They could be in-house ones. I've not really seen these before. They kind of look, yeah, they just look flat inside the dye surfaces. So yeah, interesting. And yeah, I do also like this stainless steel bezel. It provides additional protection to the lens and the LED as well. Gives it a nice premium touch. So in terms of UIs, it's so simple. The first click turns it on to that 3000K mode. Okay, then you've got the 5700K mode and the high version of the 5700K mode. Okay, and you can see that beam profile is really nice. It's a nice uniform beam profile. So I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Nextorch Dr.K32 on high, and you can see here you pretty much get just over a minute of runtime on the high mode before the light steps down. And by the 4.5 minute mark, you're pretty much on about 70%. So it does step down very slightly, nothing significant. I ran a second ceiling bounce test on the medium mode on the 5700K, and I didn't see any change throughout the duration of the test. It managed to hold 100% output. I ran some tests on my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see on the 3000K mode, got 5 meters of throw, and my light meter just wasn't sensitive enough. It's an amateur light meter, like a hobbyist light meter. So yeah, got 96.1 CRI. I had to move the light closer to half a meter in order to get a reading. So yeah, that's still pretty good. 96 CRI. Also got 2900K. And you can see on the 5700K modes, I got between 93 and 95 CRI, and the CCT range from 5100 to 5700. So yeah, those are pretty much on spec, but again, you have to keep in mind that I'm using a hobbyist light meter. It's not a professional device. The aspheric lens on this light produces an evenly lit and circular beam on all modes, and as you can see there, it cuts out a lot of spill, and you just get this really nice spot of light. You see implementations of this in larger lights as well, and yeah, that's really going to be useful in a medical field. You know, you wouldn't want, say, the center of the sample to be illuminated more than the rest. It could just, you know, lead you in the wrong direction. So some considerations to keep in mind about the Dr. K32. This is not a powerful flashlight for medical purposes, close-up inspections. So what they're prioritizing here is the high CRI and of course RG0 certification. That's something that's required for medical professions and medical examinations. And the second consideration is the higher cost, of course, compared to other pen lights. And if you're looking for just a generic pen light, something that you can carry around, this might not be the one for you. But yeah, if you're looking for a specialized pen light for medical use, I think you'd be justified spending what you are for this, just due to the premium build quality and the certifications as well, high CRI. Third consideration is, of course, the battery. So that's, has to be charged outside the light. It can be a little bit annoying to take out the battery, but yeah, I think that's the only way that they can keep this thing water resistant. If you have an open port or something on there, you're going to risk getting water and fluids into the electronics. Overall, I think this is the perfect pen light if you're in the medical field or need a high CRI flashlight for work, close-up work especially. It's not the brightest light, but the 80 lumen mode is definitely enough for most purposes, and even for myself, I think it could serve as a decent walking light. And I really like that Nextorch have ditched that built-in battery of their previous models and are now allowing the use of primary cells. Those are easy to get at the shops. So yeah, this light definitely should last you for many years of use. So if you're interested in getting one of these, go ahead and check out the video description. I've left a link down below. If you like this video as well, do me a favor and click the like button if you found it helpful. It just helps me to get the video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. Nextorch Dr.K32, and look, that lowest mode is, you can't really see it on camera at all. I can see it in the foreground. You could potentially use it as a walking light, but yeah, not too great. This is the second mode, and again, do remember, this is not the kind of light that you're going to be using for walking around. It's a medical light, but I just wanted to test the general range of it. And this one goes all the way up into the bushes ahead. There's practically no spill. All of the lights focus in the center of the beam. Okay, on the highest mode there is a bit of spill, but it's kind of interesting looking. It's irregular. Yeah, I think it's just for the reflections from the stainless steel bezel, but the hot spot in the center, as you can see, is really uniform and produces quite a decent amount of light for its size. I mean, this mode here would be great for a general walking light. Okay, this mode here, so you can get by with that. So if you're purchasing this as a medical light and you want it to double as a walking light or for other purposes, this is that's more than enough. It's reaching the center of that field quite easily, but of course not much spill, so it's more of like a wide spot beam because it's got this, what I think is an aspheric lens in there. So okay, Nextorch Dr.K32, and that's the lowest mode. You really can't see anything. Second mode here. Okay, still, there's enough light to see probably a few meters ahead of you, but that's the mode I would use if I was going to use a walking light. Now you can't really see too much of the spill here on the ground, but I can see it quite easily with my eyes. It's not, it's kind of ringy because you've got that bezel, that stainless steel bezel that reflects the light, but the center of the beam looks really clean, uniform. Okay, I'll have a bit of a walk. See if I can illuminate something that's closer up.